Okay. All right. So, like any good story, we started at the end. So this is where people will end up. This is long-term facilities. Those places that you saw on the dome, this is where people are going. So Burundians are getting to Tanzania. Syrians are going wherever they can. Hondurans are going to Mexico. Because yes, Mexico has refugee camps. But more on that later. Let's talk about, having seen what you saw, what would make people leave their homes? And the idea is it must be worse at home than it is here in the camps. And we call these things push factors, the things that push people from their homes. War, violence, natural disaster, those are the obvious ones that sort of change where you call home and make it unsafe. So we talked a little bit about Hurricane Katrina. Same idea. The black mold, the flooding, people had to leave. So I am based in Atlanta, so we had a whole bunch of Katrina refugees. Or were they? Were they internally displaced persons? We'll talk more about that. Let's talk about the other factors, the other push factors. Access to healthcare is a big one. And obviously we have a bit of a bias because we see people that are needing healthcare. But what we hear is sometimes the war and the violence and the uncertainty that is happening, people can stay. They can stay. They will find a way. They will keep themselves safe. But here in Kunduz, Afghanistan, this was a trauma hospital. It was also a pediatric ward, labor and delivery, and it was also a place where people can come and get their medication. And this hospital was bombed October 3rd, 2015. So in addition to the patients and our friends and colleagues that were lost, we also lost the building itself. So in this area, the people who stayed through the trauma and the uncertainty, that lack of access to care pushed them from their homes. So if you find yourself newly pregnant, you have approximately 8 months to find another hospital where you can deliver that child safely. If you need medication every day, you take what you have and you try to get to a place where you can see another physician, where you might find a pharmacy, where you might find a place where you can buy these medicines that you know that you need. So access to healthcare, another issue that comes, and it's all sort of related to the war, but the push factor sometimes is food insecurity. In South Sudan, as well as Burundi, we have cattlemen, rural farmers, who can't put their crops in the ground on time because of all of the violence and uncertainty around them. So once those crops don't go in the ground, you've got 6 or 7 months before you're going to run out of food. There just won't be any because the farmers aren't farming. Because the one man in the video said he fled, he took just one bag, he had to leave his cattle as well. And in that part of the world, cattle is equivalent to everything that you own. So they are no longer farming. Their cattle have inadvertently crossed the border that they can't cross because it makes them unsafe. So lack of access to care, lack of food, war, uncertainty, environmental disaster. Those are the things that push people from their homes. So each of these giant cereal boxes has a country written on it. Burundi is there, South Sudan, this is Afghanistan. Check your new citizenship.